What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got an episode of Tales from the Fort, where I talk about older movies and review them for you guys, so you can go back and watch the ones that are special. I gotta say, this time, it's kind of a hybrid episode, because usually I do the drive-in for newer movies, but they usually encompass the same year that we're in. So if the drive-in movies happen in the last year, I'm doing one today from 2018. So I couldn't figure out whether it was a drive-in episode or it was a Tales from the Fort episode. But it's not a 2019. It happened over a year ago. So I'm going to call this one Tales from the Fort. I am bringing you guys Bloodfest. Now, this is the same writer and director that wrote and directed Mercy Black on Netflix, Owen Edgerton. So I watched Mercy Black and I heard, oh my god, this is the Bloodfest guy. This is amazing. He's great. He's cutting edge. He's edgy. He's fresh. People are going to love this guy. So I watched Mercy Black first, and I love Mercy Black. And if you guys want to see my review of Netflix's Mercy Black from 2019, go back. It's one of my last videos on this channel. Go back and check that review out. But I fell in love with Mercy Black so much that now I wanted to go back and watch Bloodfest, which was on my queue for a long time, and I wanted to see it, but Mercy Black triggered my interest in Owen Edgerton's work because it was the same writer and same director. And people said Bloodfest was amazing, and spoiler alert, it was. I really enjoyed Bloodfest. 2018's Bloodfest came out around October of last year, around the exact same time as Hellfest. People confuse Hellfest and Bloodfest, not only because of the similar title, but also because they both kind of take place in the same vein. They both happen at an amusement park, basically. They center around amusement park terrors coming to life in a horror comedy style slasher. So, again, written and directed by Owen Edgerton and starring Robbie Kay, Seychelle Gabriel, and Jacob Batalon. I hope I didn't butcher those names. This is the tale of a horror-obsessed movie fan, a kid who grows up after seeing his mom killed at a young age. He grows up loving horror movies, sharing them in memory with his mom, and wanting to go to this big horror convention, this big amusement park style horror convention, like the biggest in the world. And his father is really anti-horror movies and anti-horror in general because the mom was killed on Halloween night by a horror style person. So the father's against it, the son is obsessed with it, and they have a little clash over that. Without spoiling it, I'll start with non-spoilers first. These are always hard to talk about without spoiling anything. But essentially, Robbie Kay's character and his friends sneak off to this horror amusement park style convention, meet a bunch of their heroes. They see a bunch of cool costumes, good environment, really good music, and they go off and some things happen to twist things around. Some of the supposed fake fun stuff becomes a little too real for them, and it becomes a game of survival in different themed areas of the park, which are different slashers, where they try and survive different takes on the slasher genre in real life. Again, the music was a big standout for me. I really enjoyed the use of bangs and crashes. I really enjoyed it. It was a very basic soundtrack, but overall, I think it added to the important moments. It didn't pop out too often, so whenever the music did kind of ratchet up, you know something big was happening. I love the makeup. The effects in this are very cool. The gore was well done. The kills in this were really cool blood splatter and really realistic looking effects. I did not get a chance to write down who the effects artist was, so I apologize. But give that person major credit, because not only were the effects themselves and the gore good, but the makeup and stuff. There was like a zombie section in there of the undead, people that were being controlled. That section was excellent. I really enjoyed all the makeup and all the gore in this as a standout feature. Also, the acting was very strong. Robbie Kay was our lovable horror nerd who loves horror and knows all things horror facts. Every horror movie needs one of those know-it-alls. He played it very well. Seychelle Gabriel was a star in this. I really enjoyed her. She was the kind of nerdy best friend who kind of had unrequited love thing going for the best friend. Had this kind of tomboyish thing, but also as she went along got stronger. She was kind of a meek and quiet character at first, and as the story progressed, she progressed and got very strong and became kind of the leader by the end. I love strong female lead characters. Good job, Owen. That was excellent. Jacob Batalon was great as the best friend to the main character kind of thing, and he just wanted to get laid. He was there to meet girls, and he was just talking a big game and didn't actually have much experience with girls, so he was kind of the comic relief of this. And also, there was two other characters. The main villain, who was kind of in control of things, was very charismatic, had good pause breaks, good line delivery. I really enjoyed the facial expressions of that character. I didn't write his name down. I apologize. And Jacob Batalon as well. And also, the hero, there's like a Robert Englund style character that Robbie K idolizes from this horror movie series. And he finds out this guy doesn't even actually watch horror or care about the movies. So he kind of lets his hero down, or his hero lets him down. But by the end, the hero kind of redeems himself. So it's a story about that. And again, the themes in this thing were really good. The themes of this movie were excellent. There was the father and son dynamic. There was the son and the mother growing up together watching horror movies. The mother gets killed, so there's a family dynamic there. There's the father and son dynamic of the father protecting his son, but also hating horror while the son loves horror. Good character affects there, really good job. You had the love story with the two best friends, Sishel Gabriel and Robbie K. That was well done. The best friend in his search for trying to get laid was a great story. There was another actor who was kind of like an actress who used her sexuality in her favor. She showed some vulnerability and she progressed well. So not only were the dynamics inside the characters done well, but the progression of these characters from start to finish, from meek and meager or from slutty or whatever, to being empowered by the end and standing up for themselves. There was the whole situation with the hero and his biggest fan, the main character, and the hero kind of lets him down at first and then redeems himself, and there's that hero's journey quest. So the interrelations of the characters and their personal progressions as they go along is unmatched here. Excellent stuff. Also, the comedy in this. So many movies these days try and be Scream and try and be self-referential and try and be witty and try and be meta. And a lot of them fail now because the jokes kind of are too cheesy, it's too over the top. This was the right amount of meta. If you're going to do a modern style horror movie and you want to make your version of Scream, this is the way to do it for me. The mix of comedy and serious was good. The serious moments had tension. There were proper scares, but there also was a lot of self-awareness in these know-it-all characters and their relationships in between the serious moments. This was the right intersplicing of horror comedy. Horror comedy usually falls flat for me because it's one or the other. It's too serious or it's too funny. This was the right amount. This was my modern-day version of Scream. And to be compared to a modern-day Scream and be very witty and cunning and have a good script and good pacing and good characters is rare these days. Thank you, Owen Edgerton, for that. I love this movie. Getting into spoilers real quick, so if you guys haven't seen it, pause this video, go check it out. Come back to me. Spoilers from here on out. It winds up being that the father, so that they go to this amusement park, and the kills wind up being real. There's a guy trying to bring back horror by turning this fake amusement park convention into a real-life horror thing where they're slaughtering all the patrons. And section by section, there's like a zombie section where the guy's controlling people. There's like a section of like slashers. There's just all these different cool horror tropes in sections of the park. There's like all these different quadrant things where there's a cabin scene. There's a scene in the back of like a storage room. There's all these different cool ways of using the old horror tropes as different sections of the film. And the one that winds up being behind the whole thing is the father of the main character. The father hates horror so much that he wants to kill everybody off and start fresh. He wants to show you that these horror conventions are bad, so he murders people in real life to show them horror is bad. So, and then the father realizes the son snuck off, and the father and son have their thing. There's just so much good stuff to this. There are homages to The Ring. There's homages to Saw. There are just so many cool homages here. In this, Night of the Living Dead, obviously, big Romero homages. Hodder Town is one of the towns in here, an homage to Kane Hodder. So again, I love my horror movies, self-referential, and I love my homages. And the father winds up being behind this. I guessed that the whole time. That was an obvious twist for me, but maybe not all you guys guessed it. I saw it coming, but I still liked the way they did it, and it was done well. It ends up being the little sister also is working with the dad. They wind up working together to kill the dad, realizing he's wrong. The dad dies. The sister kind of gets away. And then at the very end, the two main characters, the two best friends, do fall in love, do kiss, do get together. And then in a post-credit scene, one of the hands rises up from the ashes. It is the original guy that's behind it, not the father, but the other guy, is still alive. So there could be a Bloodfest 2, and I hope there is. Again, good music, Great self-referential characters, good timing of comedy, good character disbursement and good character interactions, and great character progression. Nice, nice verbiage, realism, good gore. This had everything for a modern-day horror comedy slasher. You cannot do it much better. I give this an 8.5 out of 10. Even better than Mercy Black, and I love Mercy Black, but I like this one better. Owen Egerton is 2 for 2 in horror. Sir, please keep making horror movies. You are tremendous. All right, I will see you guys soon with more movies. Come back and check it out again.